Hey everyone, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to create this model. This model will be shown when a new message is received to us on any page. Previously, we were working to receive the messages only on the messages page. So now we're going to write code to receive the message if the user is on any page inside this app. So now I'm on the home page. Inside this, we're going to again import the IO from socket.io client. So I'm going to import it at the top of the page. And inside this again, we're going to create a ref const socket use ref. Inside this, we're again going to create a use effect. I'm going to use this one. It is already on the mount. So inside this again, if not socket.current, we're going to connect to the server. So socket.current is equals to IO and pass in the base URL. So our route of the server. So this will connect to the socket. And now we're going to have a state here. Const new message received and set new message received. Use state is going to be null. And we're going to have a state for controlling the model. So new message model and show new message model. Use state is going to be false. So now here we are going to check if socket.current. Again, we're going to emit the event join so that we can keep a track of the users who is online. So if you remember, when we were creating the socket, the first event we were emitting is this join event from our client. So I'm going to emit this event again. So socket.current.emit join. And we are sending in the user ID alongside this. So user ID is going to be user._ID. Now after this, we are going to listen for the event current.on new message received. I'm going to copy this statement from here, event name. So when we are receiving the message, we are listening for this event. And again, on the second argument is a function. And inside this, we send a data, new message. Now inside this function, we are going to call that getUserInfo function. So let's import that. GetUserInfo from utils and getUserInfo. And we're going to call it here. Await getUserInfo. And the ID is going to be new message.sender. So this will return us the name and the profile pic URL. If you remember, inside the new message, we only have 4 properties. If I go to my util server message actions, inside the send message function, this is a new message which we are sending from our server to the client. So this function will give us the name and profile pic URL, which we are going to need inside that model. So after this function, we are going to check if user.newMessage popup. So here we are checking if user.newMessage popup. If I go to the user model and we have this new message popup, it is Boolean. So if you remember when we were creating the settings page, if I go to the settings and we set this show new message popup to control whether a popup should appear when there is a new message or not. So we are going to check if user.newMessage popup is equal to true. We are going to call the set new message received. It is going to be an object, and inside this we are going to spread the new message. It will add all the properties of the new message inside this object, and we are going to add sender name. So we do not have the sender name inside the new message. It is going to be name and sender profile pic. It is going to be profile pic URL. And after this, show new message model to true. And inside the cleanup of this use effect, in the cleanup function, we are again going to check if socket.current.emit disconnect and socket.current.off. And now inside the return statement, let's minimize these. Inside the return statement, after this check for show toaster, we are going to check if new message model is equal to true and new message received is not equals to null, and there we're going to return a component message notification modal. We're going to create this component in just a second. Inside this, we're going to pass in the socket. So we are passing in the ref here. Also, we're going to pass in the setter function for the model. So show new message model. We are going to pass in the state for the model, new message model. Also here we're going to pass in the new message received. And the username of the user. So user.username. So now let's create this component. Inside the components folder, I'm going to create a new folder, home. So if you want, this is just a single component, you can create it inside the components folder itself. And here it is going to be message notification modal, React component. And let's import this. So we are passing all these props. I'm going to copy this from here. Inside this function, we're going to need the use state. We're going to need some components from semantic UI React. We're going to need a form, modal, segment, list, and icon. Also, we're going to need link from next/link. We are going to need our calculate time function inside our utils and calculate time. And also what we're going to do is I'm going to remove this username. We're going to send in the full user state. We're going to need the user ID too. So user, the logged in user state. Inside the function, first of all, we're going to have a state for text and set text. Use state is going to be empty strings. So this is going to be the state for our input field. And we're going to have a loading and set loading. This is going to be a state for when the message is sending. And now inside the return statement, let's add fragments here. Inside this, we're going to have a modal. On this model, we're going to have a size of small. Open, it is going to be when new message modal is equal to true. So this state right here. On close, we are going to create a function for this on modal close. All we are going to do is just set the state back to false. So const on modal close, show new message modal, false. So this will close the modal. And after this, we are going to have a prop of close icon and close on dimmer click. And now inside this modal dot header, the content inside curly brackets and template strings, new message from new message received dot sender name. So the sender name is coming from here. If you remember, we just did it. When we are listening for this new message received, we are calling this function, and set new message received is equals to spreading the new message, sender name, and sender profile pic. And after this, we're going to have a modal.content. And now inside this modal, we're going to have a div. The class name for this div, bubble wrapper. And inside this, we're going to have another div. The class name is going to be inline container. And inside this div, we're going to have an image tag. The class name is going to be inline icon. And the source of this image is going to be new message received dot sender profile pic. And after this div, we're going to have another div. The class name is going to be other bubble, other. And inside this, we're going to have the message. So new message received dot message. And after this div, a span tag for the time. The class name is going to be other. And inside this calculate time, pass in the date. So new message received dot date. So after this div, we are going to have an input field, div, and the style for this is going to be position sticky, bottom 0 pixels. And inside this div, we are going to have the same input layout. If we go to the messages and message input field, just copy this from here, from this segment, and paste. And for this on submit, I'm going to leave it at e.prevent default for now. So save. Now after this div, I'm inside model.content. We are going to have another div. The style of this div is going to be margin top 5 pixels. Inside this div, we are going to have a link component. The href is going to be inside template strings /messages $message is equals to new message received dot sender. And inside this, we're going to have an anchor tag, view all messages. So this link and this view all messages will redirect the user to all the messages the user has with this sender. And after this link, we're going to have a break line. And here we're going to have an instructions component. So we're going to pass in the username inside this, user.username. So these instructions are basically that text underneath the message to tell the user that you can change this modal settings. So I'm just going to copy this component. I'm not going to waste time creating this component. It is just a list. So inside this component, const instructions, we are receiving username inside this so that we can redirect the user to his own profile page, and paste. So now if I go to the browser, and here I'm logged in as Inder, you can see on the document title, and here as Jane. So I'm going to go to the messages, and I'm going to send a message to Jane, and you can see it is being shown online. And here you can see I'm on the home page, I'm not on the messages page. And if I go to send a message, and you can see we get a modal new message from the sender name and also his profile picture. And this is being shown on the bottom side because we are not in the full screen. And this view all messages will route the user to all the messages we have with this user in the. So this is the code for receiving the message. Now we're going to write a code for sending the message from this input field right here. Also, we're going to write code to make that sound, notify the user that new message is there. So back to our index, what we are going to do is, after this check if user.newMessage pop up, we are going to first import this function to make the message. So import new message sound, utils and new message sound. So after this check new message pop up, we are going to make this sound whether the message pop up is true or not. So new message sound. Inside this, we are passing in the sender name. It is going to be name. So this will change the document or title, and save. So now let's write code for sending the message from notification. So inside this message notification model, on this form right here, we have the on submit. I am going to remove this e.prevent default from here. And we will create a new function, form submit. Const form submit. We're going to receive the event here, e.prevent default. And after this, what we're going to do is if socket.current, we're going to emit an event from here, socket.current.emit send message from notification. And we are going to send in the same data which we were sending inside the messages page, user ID. It is going to be user._id message send to user ID. It is going to be new message received dot sender. So who sent you the message, we are going to send him back. And also we're going to send the message. It is going to be text, the state which we have. So now I'm going to listen for this event on our server. Socket.on send message from notification, async, and inside this again we are receiving user ID, message sent to user ID. and the actual message. So now inside this event, again, we are going to call these functions. So I'm just going to copy this from here. Again, we are going to call the send message function, pass in all the parameters. We are again going to receive new message and error from it. And again, we're going to look for if there is a receiver socket. And then we are checking if receiver socket. We are again going to send him the message. Otherwise, we are calling this set message to 100. The only change we are going to make inside this event is, that's why I created this new event here. I could have used this event again, but inside this, we are going to check if no error and socket.emit message sent from notification. And we do not need to send any data from here. This is just a confirmation that message has been sent. Copy and let's save this. And now inside this function, make sure you are outside of this event. Socket.current.on message sent from notification. In the second argument, we receive the function show new message model to false and save. So now if I go back and let it refresh. So now if I send a message to Jane Doe, hey, new message, check. And we get a sound and message is sent. Message is sent from this in there. And now we're going to send him a message back. So it is going to be, yeah, message received. And you can see the modal is closed and message is received here. And this can go back and forth again and again. So again, message received, just anything, and we get the message. Now this modal will only work on the home page, because only on this home page we have this modal right here, this modal. If you want it to work on every page except the messages page, because on the messages page already the user is going to have all the chats. So if you want this modal to appear on every page like this account notifications, you would have to import this message notification modal, create these states, and also you will have to connect this socket.current on every page. You will have to create this ref and emit this event join and listen for this event new message received. So this is all for this video. I will see you in the next one.